I'd like to call to order this meeting on April 19th, 2022 for the School Board of Martin County. If we could please rise for the invocation and the pledge. Oh, Doris Luce from the First Church of Christ Scientist. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation, and I commend you on your outreach to the religious community. And thank you all for all that you're doing to provide this wonderful, outstanding education to the students of Martin County. I'd like to pray this afternoon the daily prayer given by the discoverer and founder of Christian Science, Mary Baker Eddy. Thy kingdom come. Let the reign of divine truth, life, and love be established in me and rule out of me all sin. And may thy word enrich the affections of all mankind and govern them. Amen.
Thank you very much. And now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Roberts, may I just say something? Mrs. Luce, I did not realize that was you there. I haven't seen you in so long. Mrs. Luce was principal of J.D. Parker Elementary and also principal when J.D. Parker Elementary turned into the technology school. It's so wonderful to see you. I haven't seen you so long.
Oh, it's just like coming home.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything and your support of the school system. Thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank you. We'll now do roll call. Mrs. Steffenthaler?
Present.
Mr. DiTerlizzi?
Here.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mrs. Powers? Here. Lee Roberts, and I'm also here. We have an agenda today which includes the following items added: 4.02, 4.03, 17.11, and the following items updated: 3.01, 3.02, 3.03, 3.04, 3.05, 3.06, 6.04, 7.03, 14.01, 14.10, 14.11, 17.06, and 17.09. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi, a second by Mrs. Powers. All those in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. We now have items of consent. Is there any item on these items from 3 to 10 that any board member would like moved to the action agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Powers and a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. Thank you. Board member discussion? Anything? So moving on, we have two recognitions. The first recognition we're going to do is the Jensen Beach High School Class 1A State Dual Wrestling Champions. Woo-hoo!
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Millay. It's a very exciting evening tonight as we get to celebrate another state championship team, and that is our Jensen Beach High School wrestling champions. Not only just a, Mr. McMouth, I don't know if you're going to be speaking. You might want to come back out here. You'll notice that there's not only a team championship, but as well, there are young men here tonight who are individual champions as well. And there's a great history of success in wrestling at Jensen Beach High School. So I think I'm going to turn this over to Mr. R.J. Costello, and he is the Assistant Principal of Athletics, to give you a little information about these amazing young athletes, student athletes.
Thank you, Dr. Featherstone. About 16 years ago, I made a phone call up to Pennsylvania to try to talk Tom into coming down to Martin County. When I was first appointed over at Jensen Beach, I said, we got a great school, great community, we just need a wrestling coach. 16 years later, with a lot of hard work and dedication, they brought back 2 state titles, Coach, you want to come up and talk, introduce your kids and talk about how the season went to? It was just incredible. Not only did they win the individual dual title, but they won the team title also about a month beforehand. And it took a lot of hard work, and we only have a couple seniors. We actually had 2 state champions that are both coming back next year, but Coach, thank you.
I'd like to first thank Principal Vogel and Athletic Director RJ Costello for all of their support. It was nice this year to bring RJ back to finish what he started with that phone call 16 years ago to Martin County. So he took a couple-year break there, so we got him back this year, so it was good to come full circle. I just want to thank my coaching staff, Coach Smith, he's in attendance, Coach Rigo, Coach Favoroso, and Coach Feeling. 4 of 5 of them all wrestled for me at Jensen Beach in my 16 years. And I couldn't just be more grateful for them, as they've just been pouring into these young men, helping them be champions. I don't know much to say. I mean, it was just a historic season. I read the newspaper article once again before we came down here, and I just think that pretty much sums it all up. Dominant across the board. We're the only team in Florida that actually won both state titles this year, the individual traditional title and the dual team title. This didn't happen overnight. It was the perfect recipe for how it all came together. A lot of these kids have been wrestling together since they were in their youth. We had 11 state qualifiers, a program record, 9 state place winners. That means 9 individuals came home with an individual medal in the top 6 in the state. We had 2 individual state champs. Sebastian DeGennaro, put your hand up. Joel Williams, put your hand up. And we won the team title by 50 points. So like I said, it was just dominant. These kids went out and took care of business in a dominant way all year. I couldn't be happier for them. We came full circle when I arrived in 2006. I thank every wrestler, parent, fan, supporter, administrator, anybody that positively affected this program. If we didn't have the building blocks and the vision when it started those years ago, we could have never got done what we did this year. But like I said, I just couldn't be more proud of these guys. They deserve it all. They sacrifice. They work hard. They're committed more than most. Of course, I'm completely biased, but I don't see another individual group that puts this much time and work into something. And like I said, they earned what they got this year. So let's give them a big round of applause. Individually, I'll recognize left to right here, Malachi Harrell. Put your hand up or step up, please, Malachi. Jewel Williams, like I said, Coach Smith's there in the back. Luke Krakoff, Matt O'Hara, Toby Rooney. Like I said, Joel won an individual title. Matt O'Hara finished 3rd as an individual. We said Toby Rooney, Dylan Fox finished 5th as an individual. Braden Peters, Ryan Duguay was state runner-up. Colton Bird, Michael Pierce-Walker, Johnny Dobbs was 3rd. Put a hand up so they know who you are. Jonathan Wilkins, Ben Norris, Nate Sapotnik earned a 5th place finish. Like we said, Sebastian DeGennaro, state champ. Ryan Mooney, 3rd in the state. Gian Ortiz, 6th in the state. Ashton Roeder, and Duke Byfield. And that's our wrestling family.
Back up, we're going to take your picture with the board. Congratulations.
They got to sit again.
Come on in, Mike.
Yeah, next to John Cena's not better. Are we done? Oh.
One more, sorry about that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Can we get one of this logo here?
Yep.
Come over here.
One, two, three.
Don't move, stay where you are. Okay, stay where you are, don't move. So the board wants to come down and shake every one of your hands, and as you're leaving the room, we need you to go to the microphone and tell us what event you competed in, but wait for us to come down. Thanks.
Name too.
And your name. Your name and weight.
Now, that was the weight class of wrestling, not the fit weight class. You weighed about 25 pounds everywhere. Hey, what you guys wrestled at now?
What you wrestled at.
My name's Malachi Hariel, and I wrestle at 182.
My name's Joel Williams, and I wrestled 138. And I'm state champ.
My name's Luke Krakoff, and I wrestled at 152.
My name's Dylan Fox, and I wrestled 152.
And I was fifth in state.
Fifth in the state. I'm Matt O'Hara, I'm 185, and I was third in the state. I'm Toby Rooney, I wrestled 220.
I'm Ryan Dugay. I wrestle 132, and I'm second in the state.
I'm Braden Peters, and I wrestled 138.
I'm Ben Norris, and I wrestle 106.
I'm Mike Lopez-Walaga, I wrestled 145 state qualifier. I'm Colton Bird, and I wrestle 145.
I'm Jonathan Wilkins, and I wrestle 145.
I'm Sebastian DeGennaro, I wrestle 106. I'm the state champion. I'm Gian Ortiz, and I wrestle 106, and I got 6th in the state. 113. I'm Ryan Mooney. I wrestle 120, and I placed 3rd in the state.
I'm Nate Spotnick. I wrestled 170, and I got 5th place at the state tournament.
I'm Ashton Roeder, and I wrestled 145. I'm Johnny Dobbs, 3-time state qualifier, 3-time state placer, former state champ.
I'm Duke Byfield. I wrestled 160.
Thank you so much, really appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
It's in there. If you just, if you don't, it's all right, just leave it there, I'll put it, I'm gonna get it out.
Thank you. Moving on, we have Mr. Bonner with the retirement recognition.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Millay. We have one retiree that we're recognizing this evening from Bessie Creek Elementary, and I'll call up Principal Stacy Schmidt to talk about her retiree.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Millay. I am Stacy Schmidt, and I am principal of Bessie Creek Elementary. I was fortunate to be able to celebrate Bessie Creek's Silver Jubilee, 25 years of excellence, just a couple weekends ago. And I want you to know I'm in my third year as principal of Bessie Creek, and I'm fortunate to have inherited with Bessie Creek an amazing school and an amazing staff. Celeste Norup, who I'm honoring tonight, could write the book about how to teach students academics, but she's also been the reason many students are invested citizens. She has sponsored Team Green, she's helped at Waterfest, and was instrumental in BCE becoming a Green School of Excellence. And she inspires students. At our Silver Jubilee, I was fortunate to meet Adriana Mancini, former student and founder of the nonprofit organization Students for H2O, who credits Celeste for empowering her to think bigger about the impact she could make. When your students are empowered to make a difference in the world and credit their confidence to you, you're doing things right. I collected comments from others to share about Celeste tonight. Among them, Celeste is thoughtful, selfless. She is ever involved in the school and community, helping students make a difference every day. She is inspiring and makes learning fun for all students. Celeste, thank you for your dedication to Bessie Creek. We wish you well and hope you have an amazing retirement. And let me just say, she postponed her retirement from her original retirement date that was going to be the end of this regular school year so that she can help us with summer school. So thank you for that too.
Mrs. Norup, I would like to say a few things before you say anything.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, Mrs. Norup and I started at Bessie Creek when the school opened in 1996, and we worked together for 20 years.
I still have my brick.
You do, so do I. So do I. And I just want to say she's one of the most dedicated, committed teachers that I've ever worked with, and she really does a great job with all different diverse learning styles. So if I needed someone who had a struggling child and I needed to put them in that classroom, I knew Celeste was where to go. She also taught both of my daughters, and I appreciate that so much. She has a passion for teaching and a love for children, and I just want to thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with you. I look forward to seeing you in your retirement.
I know.
And congratulations.
I'm looking forward to that also. Well, I wasn't planning on speaking, but kind of feel like I need to. But 25 years ago, Bessie Creek Elementary School opened up, and I was fortunate enough to be hired for that school, just having moved to Florida from Connecticut. Martin County has been a gift. But I have to say, the principals, I have amazing principals. Jane Buss was our first principal. Victoria Deventhaler, Tyson Vilwalk, and now Stacy Schmidt. We're just so grateful to having such leadership, to be there at the helm to guide us and to nurture both our students and our teachers. I have amazing staff, many of them are here, that I've worked with, Dorothy Highland, and I also worked with Doris for a little bit, Doris Luce. Just want to say that the parents of this community in Martin County, we are very fortunate to have parents that are so committed to their children's education. And so we are blessed to be here in Martin County and to be teaching the children we do and the families that have impacted my life, so many of them. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you for the 25 years. I'm looking forward to my retirement, though, I have to say. Coming at a good time.
Thank you. I don't know how many of you are aware, but today at 2:30, the bus for SPAM, Robotics, pulled out of the parking lot at the Martin County Fairgrounds, and they're on their way to Houston to compete in the World Championships. And we have a presentation about SPAM tonight from Mr. Higgins, please. Thank you.
We have a video to cue? Okay, thank you. My wife said, how come you're wearing the hat? Unless it's part of my costume, I'm not allowed to wear it. But it is part of my costume.
You can hit play whenever you're ready,
Okay,
or I can do it.
go ahead.
Okay.
They won that tournament. That tournament is played in the University of Central Florida Arena, which is quite a spectacular place to be. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tom Higgins. I'd like to thank the board for allowing me to be able to speak here today. I was a science teacher at South Fork High School from 1984 through 2010 when I retired. In the year 2000, I was asked to join the SPAM Robotics team as a faculty member and became the team leader 2 years later. Though I retired from the district, my admiration for the team and what it can do for our kids has never faded. I request that everyone in the audience today who has a cell phone or other device with access to the internet, open a search in Google and type in the word FIRST. F-I-R-S-T. I hope we don't crash the system, but you will see that the very first hit at the top of the list will be FIRST, which is an acronym for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. That search engine top of the list placement was a gift a promise from the, oops, I just lost my spot. A promise made about 18 to 20 years ago by Sergey Brin. I don't know if anyone knows him. He's co-founder of Google. When he was a keynote speaker at the first Robotics Championship in Houston, he has kept that promise to make first on the list all these years because he believed it was important. Later on, take the time to explore that First Inspires website because you'll be amazed and inspired. SPAM was formed and sponsored in 1997 by aeronautical engineers and their spouses at Pratt & Whitney and NASA. Several of those founding professionals and some of their spouses are still on the team 25 years later. They are an amazing and dedicated group of people. First Robotics inspires young people to be science and technology leaders and innovators by engaging them in exciting mentor-based programs that build science, engineering, and technology skills that inspire innovation and that foster well-rounded life capabilities, including self-confidence, communication, leadership, and gracious professionalism. Our Martin County students benefit from this program substantially. Additionally, FIRST sponsoring corporations and many colleges hand out millions of dollars in academic scholarships to FIRST team members every single year. In 2002, the SPAM students, already a household name, were invited to have a private 30-minute video teleconference with a man named Dan Bursch, whilst he, an astronaut, was at work as a flight engineer on the International Space Station, Expedition 4, while orbiting the Earth. I think we have it on tape somewhere. All of these things are pretty cool, but cool isn't nearly enough to sustain a program like SPAM Robotics, comprised of what is now the 4 high schools and some homeschoolers here in the county. It takes hard work, dedication, workspace, industrial machines, a host of dedicated teachers and mentors, 3 of whom have been on the team from the beginning, and who have won the coveted Woody Flowers Award for exceptional mentorship from the FIRST organization. It took mentors, teachers, students, and of course a school board willing to put their faith in an unprecedented public/private adventure like never before seen. Guess what? It worked. I'll leave the documentation of their accomplishments for you to view at your leisure. You have the handouts. About 18 years ago, after 3 temporary team locations, I stood in this very spot before the school board at that time to make the case of why we needed to keep the SPAM pit in its location behind South Fork High School for our team. We were going to be displaced by a vocational program. However, Dr. David Anderson, chairman, sitting right there at that time, at the end of the presentation said to me, "Don't worry, you'll have your building." He and that board rescued us. And the voc ed program vying for our space actually benefited by receiving a much larger and appropriate facility for them. And it only took a little creative thinking and courage to find a solution. We needed and still need a SPAM pit with its tens of thousands of dollars of donated high-tech instruments and very heavy machinery used to build our robots. In the years that followed, times changed and Martin County somehow kind of let slip the memory of what we once proudly displayed before governors, congressmen, and other influential people on television news spots and newspapers, even though SPAM was getting more and more well-known. Unfortunately, the school district had recently changed access rules that resulted in making it more difficult or nearly impossible to be able to operate in a place of our own with high school teachers along with our mentors willing to sacrifice their time and talents. However, at this very moment, as just noted, several of our founding mentors and career engineers are joined by a second generation of students. These graduates have become mentors themselves who graduated from Martin County high schools and have adult positions on the SPAM team. They volunteer to give back what they received from the team years earlier. All of these adults are on a 20-hour bus ride to Houston with a pile of teenagers, sainthood qualification for sure, been there, done that. They do it for a cause they and many others feel is more important. We need their leadership as well so that this great program continues to flourish. SPAM is a legacy for Martin County, a shining star of what young people are capable of. SPAM has received numerous awards and regional wins, far too many to list here today, hence the handouts. These include the World Championship winners in 2012. SPAM could very well make that World Championship win happen again this week. They are that good. They are competing against 446 other teams from the USA and 9 other countries who are mostly all regional winners from nearly 4,000 teams in 34 countries around the world. Oh, I almost forgot. SPAM also officially opened the 2013 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade down Fifth Avenue at the ribbon cutting ceremony, a true turkey feather for their cap. Their website is spamrobotics.com. I suggest you go there. Well, I've seen them in action, and so have you. Your team is simply amazing. And we need your help to continue the opportunities we've had in the past, to cut through some of the red tape, to create solutions and not barriers, to preserve Martin County's SPAM robotics. The shining star it still deserves to be. The first mission and core values given to our students, as described earlier, are universal and are what the finest educational systems worldwide endeavor to pass on. Excuse me. Please work with the team when they return to help provide the access they need and other considerations as shown in the handouts that they need to thrive. Time is running short, and I thank you for yours.
Thank you. I'd like to let everybody know that if you go on the web this weekend, if you go to The Blue Alliance, THEBLUE, and then the word Alliance, and you look for Team 180, which is the SPAM team number, you can watch, they live stream the different events. You can see the calendar of what time the different events are, so you'd be able to see it from there, just so you have that information.
See their ranking, how they're doing.
Yeah, how they're doing too.
The competition starts on Friday. They have practice and stuff on Thursday, and they start, I think, maybe late Thursday, go all day Friday, all day Saturday.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
It's highly addictive, but thank you. Thanks, Tom, appreciate it. Moving on now, we have information reports. Mr. Ramos? So we'll move on beyond him, and we'll come back to him. District update, Ms. DeShazio? DeShazo?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Superintendent Millay, and members of the board. Pleased to bring you this month's school district update. Let me grab my thing. So late last month, the Martin County School District hosted its 46th annual Music in Our Schools program. The event, which was held in the gymnasium at Martin County High School, featured performances by elementary, middle, and high school music students from each of our schools. The program coincided with the National Association for Music Education's Music in Our Schools Month. This year's theme was Music, the Sound of My Heart. Let's take a look.
very new, and it was a great experience.
It's a great, great concert. You know, it warms your heart to see all of the schools in Martin County come together to sing and to play music, and it really highlights like how strong music program the school has.
So it was a fantastic event, and it was enjoyed by students, staff, and families alike. All Martin County School District operated schools participated in Waterfest, which was organized and developed by Students for H2O on March 26th. Since 2012, Students for H2O's Waterfest has been an environmental festival hosted by the City of Stuart in Memorial Park. The Outdoor Expo, which is free to the public, focuses on promoting water conservation and bringing awareness of current and future water quality and supply issues. During this year's event, students and staff engaged local families in a variety of activities designed to spread environmental awareness and foster sustainability.
We're at Waterfest, the City of Stuart's annual Water Conservation and Environmental Festival, and we're just a proud co-host of this event. I'm so excited that all Martin County schools are present. Water for South Sudan is here, just really promoting fun while learning and the value of water. We've made an impact with drilling wells in South Sudan, helping raise awareness and funds for the global water crisis, working with the City of Stuart to help with plastic litter. The Martin County School District, the City of Stuart, and Publix have a plastic bag initiative where we help reduce plastic litter in our schools and community, and so much more. So we hope to continue making an environmental and global impact as well. I want people to come away with a new perspective of why water is valuable to them and that they can make a difference in our local communities about global issues, that one person can make an impact.
That was another great event that allowed us to engage our community and also educate students about some important environmental issues. The arts are most definitely alive and celebrated in the Martin County School District. Each year, hundreds of fifth grade students participate in the Office of the Martin County Tax Collector's Kids Tag Art Contest, creating unique designs that families and interested community members can purchase in the form of license plates and key fobs. This year's award-winning artists were celebrated during a special event held March 30th at the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast.
Ready, set, and ride in style. These designs could be yours for your car, bike, or keychain.
It's inspiring to see the kind of the designs I come up with.
The artists behind these masterpieces, all fifth graders in the Martin County School District. It's through the Kids Tag Art program.
We learn about the specialty plates and the causes that the proceeds go towards, and then a lot of them are inspired by that, especially for like the Sheriff's Department and Humane Society, where their art design goes towards a certain kind of theme.
Out of nearly 1,000 designs, only 18 receive an award. At least one fifth grader from each school.
Competition is rigorous. We have like 900 tags to pick from, so it's very special to be a winner.
Those children are recognized at the annual Kids Tag Art Award ceremony in front of their family, teachers, district staff, and the county tax collector.
This program teaches children critical thinking skills, and that's the one skill that the Fortune 500 companies look for when they hire. So it really is a great program, and the children get so excited. We all get so excited.
Although only a few receive an award, every child is truly a winner.
So you see a lot of individualism that comes out in it, a lot of kind of abstract designs, and favorite animals and cars and fishing. The art teachers that Martin County hires are phenomenal. Every year it gets better and better and better. And they've always been good, but they keep getting better.
So visit mckta.com and find a design you love, all while supporting the arts in your Martin County Public Schools.
So let's give our students a round of applause for their creativity. Earlier this year, Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation marking the end of Florida Standards Assessments, or FSAs, and ushering in a new era of enhanced progress monitoring throughout Florida. The changes will take effect next school year, the 22-23 school year. On April 4th, Warfield Elementary School held a pep rally for students as they prepared to take their final FSAs. The celebration was about learning growth and the many concepts and skills students have mastered throughout the year.
Here we go. Warfield in the house. Warfield in the house. Here we go. Warfield in the house.
Pumping up their spirits. It's a school-wide effort of encouragement, so third and fourth graders are ready to take on their final FSA.
It really gets them even more excited than what we already are, and that way they feel the support of the whole school, and they know that we're all in this together.
Teachers like Heather Hoffman have been preparing their students mentally and emotionally all year long.
We've practiced so much, we've done this so much, it's just one more day. That's how we're looking at it.
She teaches them there's no reason to be nervous. It's simply applying what her students already know.
We've taken a lot of time this year to really learn about how this is not just a number on a paper on a test. This is exciting. It's not scary. It's exciting because we get to see all the hard work that we did all year long and get to see the progress that every student has made.
Next year, students won't have the FSA, but instead more frequent exams testing smaller increments of progress. Hoffman says it's just a different way to assess their students. Nothing else changes.
It shouldn't really matter what type of test it is. They have to learn how to be confident in themselves and their abilities, and they're mastering all these different skills. So I don't think the format of the test will really matter if they're able to hold on to that inside themselves.
And if they believe in themselves as much as their school does, they have nothing to worry about.
I couldn't be more proud of them, and I think they're just going to do amazing. And I think they believe in themselves to know they'll do just as amazing. Good luck, Martin County students. You got this.
We're so proud of all of our students throughout the district who are undergoing statewide assessments and just taking pride in demonstrating all the things they have learned this year. And we recently received word that 19 Martin County seniors representing each of our 3 high schools have earned scholarships from the Community Foundation for Palm Beach and Martin counties. The Community Foundation received approximately 500 applications for this school year and issued awards to 126 students. Scholarship recipients, many of whom will graduate in the top 10% of their classes, earned an average of $10,000 in scholarship funding. More than 30% of recipients will be first-generation college students. The foundation awarded a total of $1,269,325 to graduating seniors this year. So congratulations to our 19 students from Jensen Beach, Martin County, and South Fork High Schools. And until next time, you can find us across all social media platforms. We are available wherever you scroll. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll do some scrolling soon. Yes. Dr. Miller?
Thank you. Tracy Miller, Assistant Superintendent of Academics. Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Superintendent, members of the board. A few notes from the legislative session where we are right now, letting you know that action taken by the state board at its March 30th meeting includes action related to professional learning. And as this will impact all of our instructional staff, I wanted to point out that there are some changes. The rule streamlines the requirements for school district professional learning systems, provides a common template for school district use, establishes the circumstances for the submission and periodic resubmission of professional development systems, and defines the approval and criteria and the time period for approving the professional development that we who hold professional certificates rely upon for recertification. So there are changes to come, and also changes to the professional learning catalog that outlines what we can use to earn those points for renewal of our certificates. And exciting today, the administrative staff received professional development on House Bill 1557 and the Parents' Bill of Rights, and received several hours of training, and we know that that will be ongoing to make sure that we are on top of everything related to this important legislation. And additional professional development will continue to be provided to us as information becomes available from the Florida Department of Education. Letting you know about assessments, our students are working really hard. These seniors have been at it, making sure that they meet the criteria for high school graduation in terms of assessments. So great big congratulations to the work happening at Jensen Beach High School. We have one student who is still awaiting test results and working to earn that recognition. And we are awaiting results from ACT scores from our other schools. We know that we are providing study sessions and administering the PERT math test to the 4 remaining seniors who still need to meet the math assessment requirements. So we appreciate that flexibility given to us under the law this year. And the ACT and SAT non-college reportable scores are currently being received, and so we expect lots more celebrations for students in the days to come. State assessments, as you heard, they are underway, and appreciate all the work happening at Warfield to get our students ready, and those kinds of celebrations are happening in every classroom. Teachers are working to make sure students know this is an opportunity for them to show what they know and be able to really show off everything that they've learned in school. So that's what we're looking at tests are about here in Martin County. So we've completed grade 3 reading and grades 4 through 10 writing portions of the English Language Arts Florida Standards Assessment. You know it as FSA ELA. We're pleased to share we had a great turnout for this first round of assessments, with every school testing more than the required 95% of students. And we have makeup windows coming up around the corner. We have the window beginning May 2nd through 13th for all paper-based tests in grades 3 through 8, including grades 4 to 6 reading, 3 to 6 math, and 5 and 8 science. Computer-based testing begins in May on the 2nd and continues through the 27th. For local assessments, interim assessments are being given to students in grades K to 5. They're taking their 4th and final ELA interim assessment on the Benchmark Universe Advanced computer-based platform, May 17th through the 24th, right at the end of the school year. Foundations, grades K to 2 will take their last foundations assessment, May 25th through the 27th. Progress monitoring for science is going on in the month of May as well, and also the common quarterly assessments in science, and that's May 18th through the 25th. Additionally, grades 6 through 10 will take their last unit assessment in ELA. And for national assessments, we have the AP, the IB, and the ACE exams that are happening in each of our high schools. And so parents and students should be well aware of those testing dates, but if you're not certain, please check the website for each of our comprehensive high schools to be sure you know when to bring your device fully charged, ready to go. And we wish all of our students all the best as we are involved in the last FSA testing season, and we will be kicking off the new best standards assessments coming up in August. So thank you to everyone and congratulations to our kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Dr. Millay, your report?
Sure. Good evening, Chair Roberts, board members. As Jen was sharing in her update, I just want to share how exciting all the different traditions and things that the community of Stewart, the county of Martin, and our school district all work together with. So most of those items that she had shown, I've attended, so it was great energy. I do want to thank our teachers and all of our support staff throughout the district. As Dr. Miller says, we're in the middle of testing. It's the result of a lot of hard work, skillful execution, and it's not about an event. It's a major process. So I want to thank everyone and all the support staff that every job's critical in our district. I also want to welcome, it was in our personnel report, but Dr. Paige McMahon. She's our new math coordinator. If she's still here, maybe she, okay, welcome, Dr. Paige McMahon. I think you're going to enjoy her knowledge and appreciate her good energy, so happy to have her. And at this point, we'll move on to first item. As it was shared earlier by Principal Schmidt, the Silver Jubilee. I just want to shout out what a great job that Martin County has done in having all of our schools. They all have their story. It's nice when they get told. And Jen and her department are doing a better job and continually improve to tell the story of our schools. So it was nice learning about this Jubilee, and here's a short video on it.
We are celebrating Bessie Creek's 25th year. It's our Silver Jubilee. We brought in food trucks, we brought in the Sheriff's Office and Fire Rescue. We asked Epilepsy Florida to come and do a helmet fitting. We're giving school tours, and we're giving students an opportunity to do make and takes that they'll be able to take home with them. We actually were able to open up our brand new playground, our kinder, first grade, and pre-kindergarten playground. The original playground was put in the year the school opened, so it lasted 25 years, and we're hoping the new playground lasts just as long.
What I want to say to the current and future Bessie Creek Gators, you're going to enjoy this playground for a very long time. You all here and all future Gators, so it's going to be awesome. There are so many wonderful memories of Bessie Creek. PTA Fall Fest, Nickelodeon Days, which some of you may not remember, that was a very long time ago when we first opened. Fun runs, transportation days, track meets, spirit days, and our prize-winning, award-winning Christmas parade floats, which were made possible with some talented parents.
Yep, I'm going to be here for the 50th as well. That's my goal.
Shout out to our new multimedia journalists again in Jen's department. They've done a great job producing this video, and then all the schools we're working on promotional videos to tell the story of our schools, of our district. So more to come on that. And here's another brief video about the Port Salerno Elementary School, their breakfast club, and a lot of great things going on there.
Wednesdays at Port Salerno Elementary are very special.
Everybody has their book? Yes? Okay.
That's when a unique club meets. the Breakfast Club.
We targeted specific students that we would like to have join our breakfast club so that they can work on 3 specific goals. One of them is to be able to advocate for themselves whenever needed, which is very important. And we also want to make sure that they know how to find people and places around campus. And we also want them to learn the language while they're here.
The club members are new to the school and the county.
So we started teaching them WH words so that they could find out where is the clinic or who is Mr. Schaefer. And they would know these are key people that I can contact or places that I can go when I need that extra help.
It started with just a few kids, but word spread about the fun they have while learning. Mrs. Gonzalez and her team now help more than a dozen students.
So it's always fun to see how much they've grown since we started. Their confidence, their self-esteem, you can see how now they feel a little bit more confident with being able to share their sentences and writing them. We are here.
The goal is independence, but while they eat breakfast and learn how to advocate, they also become a special little family.
And I will see you next Wednesday.
Alcira that heads that, she's one of the new positions that you all allowed us to do with the ESSER 2 funds. So, and in some of the ARP, she's just one great example of just the good positive energy. She relates to parents. She helps our teachers understand our students a little bit more. So it's been great. And then excited about South Fork, the recent groundbreaking we have about the new athletic complex. So here's a real brief video on that.
This right here is a momentous occasion for South Fork High School.
It really is a great day here at South Fork High School.
I'm really excited to cheer in it and make a whole bunch of new memories in it. Coming soon in the near future, a brand new gymnasium. But it's much more than that.
It represents that centerpiece or that place where we're coming together as a school for graduation. It also represents we're doing something special with a lounge so that our students don't have to travel back and forth after school, so they can stay and do their homework, they can have team meetings, they can be around each other.
Students can watch the gym get built, go along with it, and make it their new favorite spot. It took years to get here, but the South Fork community's voices were heard.
And to see that come to fruition with our community members voting to put money in the coffers to make that happen, but also our board members to have the vision to say this is something that needs to happen for our students, and then to see the legacy of leadership with our superintendents and our current leadership.
And students and staff couldn't be more appreciative.
Thank you to the taxpayers and the school board of Martin County for the new South Fork gym.
Great. And then this finally, I want to let David Azarito, our Assistant Superintendent of Personnel, just give you a little update about our spring job fair.
Good afternoon, board members, Chair Roberts, Dr. Millay. We are excited to present our first job fair this Saturday, April 23rd. It's at Martin County High School from 9 till 12, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. We're hiring for teachers, custodians, bus drivers, paras. Every position will be out there. All the departments will be there. Schools will be out there, and really excited. So spread the word. There's a big billboard on Canner and Monterey. That's one of the digital ones, so you can see that there. And so we're excited, and I'll come back next month with all the results. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'll let her click this short video. We're showing you some of these little clips more than normal, but the neat part is they're about a minute or a little bit over. This is what our department in all areas, when Jen says we're all over social media, I get so many compliments that people are seeing our story, they're staying connected, so these are happening daily.
Martin County is a smaller school district, and as a smaller school district, I feel like they really have a vibe and an understanding of the students, the population. My favorite thing about this county is the teachers are highly qualified, they are passionate, they care, and there's nothing better than working with great teammates every day. If you want to work with other great teachers who really are willing to stand beside you and help you, this is an amazing county.
feel free to stop by. And then the next item, there's been a lot of work, of course, throughout the year on professional development, whether it's a new strategy or a current program that we're implementing. On February 18th, the staff were involved in a district-wide PD day. There was over 100 different courses, ranging again from content to leadership, all the different areas. So she's going to show you a brief clip on that, and Martin County High School was the host for that.
Today, we all are here. Hi. Our philosophy in professional development, we really want to honor voice and choice. Different sessions geared towards different staff, but they also were able to choose what they attended today and pick their day of learning.
I've attended sessions in sight words. I've attended sessions in learning schoolology, which will be the new program teachers will be using next year.
My first class was on personality, and I learned a lot about how to go back to the school and put that in place.
We have an insane amount of talent in our schools. So our teachers, our administrators.
It's such an advantage not only to be with master teachers who know their craft and are at the top of the game, have all the new information that we need, but we get time to talk to other teachers and find out what's going on in other classrooms. That helps our teaching.
My second class was IRSC, so I learned how I could actually take courses to become a teacher in the Martin County School District.
My hope for everyone at the end of the day is that they leave and they feel like they have gained something.
And that's my final update. Unless you have some questions, I'll entertain them as you need.
Thank you. The other reports on here, if anybody, board member has any questions, monthly facilities update, financial statements, referendum update, charter school financials, school board attorney update, the district forms, manuals, procedures, plans, and guidelines. That's on there now, so that if any board member or anybody from the public, when you view any of those things, we'll just keep populating that every month or so that you'll see all the different forms that are being used internally. And if a board member has any question about any of those, we can bring those back up. If a member of the public does, they can do the same. The monthly HR update, the report for use of facilities for March, and then looking into April also, and then information about the Reed Spring Break Challenge. Moving on, in the board member information share, I posted something that was the proposed scope of services to support the Aspiring Principals Program for Martin County School District. If you recall, back in February of this month, February 15th, at our board meeting, item number 1709, we approved a contract with Leadership Academy. It's for $245,000. It's being funded by a grant to help train people to be, it's more like a mentorship, internship to train people to become principals. The item that was posted on there, I heard some word, I gave a talk at the Martin County Taxpayers Association and heard back that some of the scope of work was kind of troubling. I talked to what's your name again? Michael Main, and he gave me the corrected one that was the proposed scope of work. So you'll see the proposed scope of work that I've posted here. So if anybody had any questions, you'll be able to see that there. Because there were some pieces. The company that does this is a company that's it's the Leadership Academy out of New York. And it is a large national type company that does all different kinds of training. So there were pieces in that would have been troubling to our community. Those pieces have been removed. Those pieces aren't in our proposed scope of work. So if you want to see any of that, you can see that there. Thank you. And moving on, let's see. Public comment. Oh, we have some of that. Mr. Smithson. We're ready for you. Thank you, sir. Thanks for reminding me.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair, Dr. Millay, and members of the board. I'm here as a substitute teacher, educator, parent, and grandparent of 3 children that go to Martin County schools. I'm exceptionally happy with what's going on in the schools today. However, I do have some concerns. I want to express my deepening concern about the direction public education is going in Florida. The legislation and rhetoric coming out of the state capitol is not only alarming, but highly biased, partisan, and divisive. The rhetoric can be summed up with the words uttered by our Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran at Hillsdale College, a conservative Christian school, and I quote, "My goal is to keep all the crazy liberal stuff out of our classrooms." I think that's very inappropriate and very insulting. You can research that. Now we have DeSantis's pet legislation that was recently passed entitled Stop Woke Act, or Stop Wrongs to Our Kids and Employees Act. He wrongly assumes critical race theory is taught in our classrooms, which is the underlying source of students hating each other and their country or feeling bad about themselves. Critical race theory was never taught in our schools. Our state government is attempting to whitewash history by enacting a solution where there is no problem. Let's take the parental rights in education bill, just signed into law, also known as the Don't Say Gay bill. Again, another law enacting a solution to a problem that really doesn't exist. Let's call this legislation what it really is, an ongoing attempt to keep marginalizing our LGBTQ students and community at large. The truth is, the Stop Woke Act and parental rights in education bill are nothing more than our state government attempts to indoctrinate our students into a more right-wing conservative education with a little bit of religion thrown in and critical thinking thrown out, and nothing at all to do with the indoctrination of crazy liberal stuff that frequently comes out of our state capitol. To the moms, for liberty. Although I think your intentions are noble and maybe good, I would advise you to spend less time monitoring teachers' actions and behavior and books in the school's media centers and more time monitoring what your children are exposed to on social media. The uptick in disrespect, foul language, short attention spans, and inability to stay focused should be a major concern to all of us. I see it day in and day out in our schools. To top it off, we had to wake up Saturday morning to read a press release issued late Friday by the FDOE announcing they disapproved a record number of math textbooks. Now, what does critical race theory have to do with these math textbooks? They can't come up and substantiate it. I'm going to end here. Continue next time. All right, thank you.
Karen Rezaniti.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Millay. Karen Resiniti, President, Martin County Education Association. I've been on the Martin County bargaining team since 2011. With few exceptions, our county is notorious for prolonged negotiations. When I meet with other presidents across the state, I become frustrated when I hear that their contracts are settled and we are still going. Many districts across the state this year finished their negotiations in a timely manner and are currently negotiating the 2022-23 contracts. The other two locals in our Treasure Coast, Indian River and Okeechobee, concluded their negotiations in 5 sessions and are now negotiating 22-23. How do they get this done? Many districts have ground rules in place to expedite, facilitate the process. Martin was not willing to set written ground rules. One common ground rule is that initial proposals be put on the table by the second or third session to avoid any late surprises once bargaining is underway. Putting a proposal for cameras in the classroom on the table very late in the game is discouraged in ground rules for a reason. It has stalled our negotiations, even alluding to impasse. The message from our bargaining unit was clear. 73% voted down cameras in November, and it was in a temporary MOU. To present a proposal in January with permanent contract languages for cameras in the classroom is setting us up for impasse. There are 40,000 teacher vacancies in Florida with an anticipated 90,000 at year's end. Teachers will flee the district with camera language. You show them a camera and they'll show themselves out the door. The Martin County School District has put into place a very competent and knowledgeable bargaining team. The climate at the table is excellent. Give them a salary budget with parameters, and let them do their jobs, as they are the experts on the ground, and as well as in their respective departments. I encourage you to reach out to neighboring counties and ask how they are successful in their negotiations. How do they facilitate the process? I can guarantee that the school board takes a back seat until it's time to ratify. Our teachers are dedicated to their students, and they want a contract. Let's get this done. Thank you.
Gianna Ewing.
I didn't hear the name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gianna Ewing. And she'll be followed by M. Paratrees Santalialio? Lalialio? Just in case there's applause and you can't hear me say it. Thank you.
She'll be translating for her.
Okay.
Puedes hablar ella y yo traduzco aquí, ¿ok?
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say that I'm a custodian, and we pay very low, and we don't get paid enough, really, and everything is going up. And I feel so bad because we need to get paid more. That's what we do. And we clean very good the school. We do our job, and on top of that, they take away our holidays, and I don't think that is right. And I've been working for the school for almost 5 years, and I feel bad. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll try it again. Ms. Santalalo? Thank you.
Buenas tardes, autoridades del Condado Escolar.
Good afternoon, School Board.
Estoy representando a muchos de mis compañeros custodias de todas las escuelas del condado,
I am representing many of the custodians of the school district with me,
que nos sentimos muy mal porque nuestro trabajo no es considerado.
that we feel very poorly because our work is not well considered.
El costo de vida es muy alto.
The cost of living is very high.
Igual que ustedes, pagamos casa, carro, seguro de salud, seguro de todos los tipos de biles.
Just like you all, we pay for our house, we pay for health insurance, we pay for car insurance.
Arbitrariamente nos han quitado la semana de julio, que no teníamos una semana de vacaciones.
Arbitrarily, they took away a week in July for us that we had as vacation,
And los días de holiday
Holi-
tenemos que pagarlo.
and we have to pay for holidays.
Y muchos de los custodian tenemos 2 y 3 trabajos para poder solventar nuestra vida.
Many custodians have 2 or 3 jobs to be able to support our lives.
Por las mañanas trabajamos de babysitter, de limpieza de casas.
In the morning, we work as babysitter or we clean houses.
Los hombres trabajan de handyman, trabajan en otros condados en la cafetería.
Some of the men work as handyman or they work in other counties in the cafeteria.
Y si ustedes nos dan 10 horas diarias, ¿con qué tiempo vamos a trabajar en el otro trabajo?
And if you give us 10 hours a day, with what time can we work our other jobs?
Por favor, les pido su consideración, valoren nuestro trabajo.
Otra vez.
Que les pido consideración y que valoren nuestro trabajo.
That I ask for your consideration and that you give value to our jobs.
Somos capital humano y necesitamos un poquito de consideración y el salario que está muy bajito. Y tenemos muchos Obamacare porque no podemos pagar el seguro de la escuela.
Our salaries are very low. We can't pay for the insurance that the district offers. We work with our hands and you need us and we need to work.
$750 cada quincena. ¿Quién puede sobrevivir con eso? Por favor.
$750 every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks for money.
Every 2 weeks, who can live on this?
Por favor, les suplico, consideren la inflación y el costo de vida. Somos madres de familia, personas que tenemos que mantenernos familias.
We are mothers. We have to maintain our families. Please consider the rising cost of living. And that's it. Thank you.
That's all I have for open to the public, so we'll move on to action only. Under school board travel, we have 2 items there, and in compliance with the Florida Statute 1001.39, the public has an opportunity to speak on any specific travel agenda item. Is there anybody who would like to speak? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move approval. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Anderson, a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. Summer school proposal.
I move approval of item 17.02.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Powers, a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi to approve 17.02. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. The next item is 1703, which is the builder's risk insurance policy for South Fork High School's athletic facilities.
I move approval of 17.03.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Steffenthaler, a second by Mr. Anderson. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. I have a renewal for a piggyback for St. Lucie Public Schools, fresh produce and pre-cut packaged items, 1704.
Move approval of 17.04.
Second.
Fresh produce and pre-cut package items.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi, a second by Mrs. Steffenthaler. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. I have 1705.
Move approval of 1705, Integrated Pest Management Services, piggyback with St. Lucie County School District.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi and a second by Mrs. Steffenthaler for 1705. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. We have 1706. This is requisitions for purchase orders over 100,000. There's 2 on here. One has to do with fencing and gates at Bessie Creek, and the other one is for summer school cleaning for custodial services.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Mr. DiTerlizzi. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. 1707, this is the Ask Me Disaster Relief MOU. This is a one-time lump sum bonus of $1,000 to every eligible Ask Me bargaining unit member.
Move approval of 1707, AFSCME Disaster Relief MOU.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi, a second by Mrs. Steffenthaler. Is there any discussion? Do we know when this will be included in the checks?
That's what I was going to say. Thank you all for approving the $1,000 bonus for the AFSCME, those in the union that it represents, and those will be processed probably on our next payroll, so.
Okay, thank
Just
you.
as soon as possible,
Okay.
yes.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. 1708, this is an ARP, American Rescue Plan Grant Amendment for the high school CTE expansion for the school years 22-23 and 23-24. If you look further into it, you will see there's a sheet that has green and yellow on it. No, that's not the sheet you want. The sheet after that, the one that has all green, that talks about what we currently have right now is 4 allocations for 22-23, and this amendment would add 4 allocations for 22-23 and another 4 for 23-24, plus the ones that are currently approved. So it would move us from 4 each of those 2 years to 8 for each of those 2 years.
Move approval of 1708, ARP Grant Amendment for High School CTE expansion for years 22 and 23, 23 and 24.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi, a second by Mrs. Steffenthaler to approve 1708. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries 5-0. 1709 is the org chart update with those notations that were asked for at the last, I believe that was a workshop.
Move approval of 1709, organizational chart update.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi, a second by Mrs. Powers to approve 1709. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That carries 5-0. The next one is an item for the Florida School Board Association dues. That's the dues for the school board for the next year.
Move approval of 17.10 Florida School Board Association dues for 2022-23 school year.
I have a motion by Mr. DiTerlizzi. Is there a second? Second. And a second by Mr. Anderson. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0. 1711, as you all know, that the governor came out and said that some of the math textbooks that were on the list, the short list, were no longer to be approved. We have two instances in the list of what we adopted at last month's meeting. One is K-5, where the choice was Savas, and we approved Savas, and we're in a 30-day objection period, waiting to see if they have any objections during that period for the Savas books. We also have math for data and financial literacy, where the book that we selected was Savas Thinking Quantitatively. So at this time, this agenda item is to requesting the board to approve for the K-5 STEM Scopes Florida Math 2022. It's the only book, the only publisher that the state of Florida is at this point in time saying is approved. And also for the math for data and financial literacy, the only book that they have approved for that is the Cengage Learning Florida Algebra Tax Update 2021 second edition. As we approve this item, if this item gets approved, it puts us in a position where we can start the 30-day objection window. We would be able to start that now, so we would be in a position where we don't have to start it again later if we want to do that. So that's why this was added late. I know that the staff has been talking to the publishers of the book, Savas in particular, and there is the possibility that Savas would be able to get permission that their book would end up being approved. If that were the case, we would be buying the Savas books, but if that were not the case, it would put us in a position where we would be able to buy a book and get the book in-house by school start.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So where did Savas come in terms of priority list of which books they chose, the committee chose? Where was Savas in that?
Savas on both of these cases was the number one. So for K-5, this was Savas when we picked the K-5, Savas was the top picked one. In the other one, Thinking Quantitatively, or Math for Data and Financial Literacy, Savas was again the number one. So the ones that we selected last month that we wanted to use are the ones that rose to the top that we wanted to use. But unfortunately, we will not use a book in Martin County that is not approved by the state. So it puts us in a position where we need to go ahead and adopt what the state approves so that we can start that 30-day objection window.
I understand that. I just wanted, Mary, you were at the meetings. Is that the way it was? I'm just trying to recall what happened at the meeting that day for K through 5. Was Savas at the top?
Mary White, Director of Curriculum and Instruction. Mrs. Duffenthaler, Savas was at the top for the elementary selection.
I just want to make sure, because I want to make sure teachers believe that they can use this material in a way that's going to impact student achievement. I know we have no choice in terms of things, but I wanted to understand where the teachers stood in terms of the material, so I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
Right, and if you look at the, I asked Dr. Millay if I could see the books from Savas, and it appears that in the chart for where they denied the books, for the K-5, it appears that the problem was in the first grade book. So I've asked Dr. Millay to give me the first grade book so I can look at, maybe I can figure out what it was. But, you know, there's always the possibility that Savas would either remove that, would reprint, or would get permission or something. So there is the possibility still that Savas would come through and we would be able to use Savas, but we don't want to put ourselves between a rock and a hard place if Savas doesn't come through, and this is the book, this other book, the STEM Scopes book is the book that the whole state of Florida then is having to use, that we would then be behind the 8 ball, have to have a special meeting, have to adopt, run the 30-day objection period, et cetera. I also believe, Dr. White, if I'm correct, that you're opening online, and actually I do think it is open. I think if you go to the menu and you go to the math instructional materials piece, you can actually go to both of these books, these new ones that we're talking about, STEM Scopes and the Cengage book for the other course, and the public is able to click on those and actually review those materials. So these new materials that the state has said these are the ones that you need to be using for these courses, you do have access to those, so it didn't need to be open.
It is opened.
Yeah, I did
today.
notice it was open.
This evening is that it is opened.
Yeah, so you have that access so that if any member of the public wanted to go in there and look at that, they'd be able to do that.
I just also want to say thank you to the state for once again creating a situation where there's cause for controversy and confusion at a time where teachers really should be making sure they're focused on instruction of students and planning for next year. This just kind of sets everything back when there's controversy over a topic that really there was no problem with in the first place. So once again, the state has come in and, and used it for political gain.
Is there a motion for an approval of 1711?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Powers, a second by Mr. Anderson to approve 1711. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That carries 5-0, and now the objection window opens, is that correct? And so that'll run out for the next 30 days. At this time, we have open to the board. Mrs. Steffenthaler?
Yes, there's a few things. I want to thank Ms. Schmidt and her staff who hosted the Bessie Creek 25th Anniversary Silver Jubilee, and the dedication to the very new playground, which is beautiful. I wish I was at that school and able to access that playground or have my children access that playground because it's awesome. And they put a big alligator as steps to go up to the equipment. And it just looks great. So I know the students are going to enjoy that. I appreciated the warm welcome and the invitation to speak. And she did a great job of putting together a beautiful day. She, her staff, and her PTA. So once again, thank you to Ms. Schmidt. I also enjoyed attending the science fair at J.D. Parker last week. The night began with a variety of STEM activities that students could participate in, and it was really great to see the students so engaged in science and the activities, and I appreciate all the volunteers that came out to ensure that, they had that opportunity. And I wanted to congratulate all the participants and the families who helped support students, as well as the teachers and the science teachers. Also, thank you to Mrs. Borges, Mrs. Bullock, and Mrs. White for hosting the event. It was a great evening, and it was just fun to be there and see the excitement on the kids' faces. I also want to thank Amber Ellis for planning and hosting the volunteer award celebration last week. We appreciate South Fork High School JROTC, Color Guard, and Stewart Middle School Jazz Band for being there. And of course, we're so grateful for our volunteers and our business partners and community partners for their talent and generosity, because they do make a difference in Martin County. They're a key to our success. And I just want to remind everybody that this Saturday, April 23rd, is the Education Foundations of Martin County's Evening of Excellence, benefiting students of Martin County. It'll be held at Mariner Sands Country Club at 6 p.m., and tickets can be purchased on the EFMC website. So once again, that should be a wonderful evening, and it benefits all of our students. And then the only other thing I have, Mrs. Roberts, because it hasn't been brought up since I asked about it a few weeks ago, is the superintendent's evaluation being scheduled. So do you have a schedule for that?
Sure, and that's scheduled to happen in June.
Okay. Do you have a date yet for that?
No, I'm going to try to work it in either with the June workshop or probably with maybe either then or with the June budget workshop. So one of those two dates will probably be.
In thinking about when we hired Dr. Millay, what was the plan? Because I don't know why we were asked to fill out an evaluation in November or December, and we're not now doing it till June. So what happened with that?
So if you read the contract has where this is where the cycle is, has us where we should be doing it now. So
Here, now?
now.
Instead of June?
Yeah.
So why?
Well, before the end of the school year, I believe. Isn't that
Yeah,
in their
it says
contract?
that the board, by June, they would do that, and it says you may, in November, like my request, or if you want to do something mid-year, you can, but the end of the year, when we looked at it,
Is
was
the one.
June. by
So if
June.
anybody wants to update whatever they've done, you're welcome to do
It
that.
would have just been nice to know that, because I spent a lot of time on it, and I thought it was going to happen a few months ago. So we just need to get that straight for
Okay.
next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. DiTerlisi?
I have nothing, Madam Chair.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes. I just want to speak to, I guess mainly to encourage the teachers. I want to encourage everybody because we all need it. But I know that you're going through some tough times. 2 years of the virus, you guys were dealing with the unknown. You went in, you did a spectacular job. Just by virtue of the fact that you're in a classroom every day, it's a challenge. How do I know? Because I'm a teacher. And so I know what I'm talking about. And with all the things that are going on, I'm seeing it firsthand. I can speak personally about it, okay? It's not just what somebody's told me. That's why I want to encourage you guys, because I know what I go through. We're living in unprecedented times. Aside from the money thing, and I gotta say, in all due respect, I think that at the federal and state level, they get it, and they're doing their best now to get your salaries in line. We're working on that. You need more money, and we're working on that. The Commissioner of Education, the governor, they've really made some big strides toward that, and we must give credit to whom credit is due. But I have some other concerns, and that is with conduct, student conduct, and it kind of spills over from, I think, the teachers are going through a lot. The students are very disrespectful at times, and it's no wonder. Because if you look at what's going on in our adult world, if you look at what's happening in the world of leadership, if you just look 2 weeks ago with that spectacle up there with the Supreme Court, now regardless to how you felt about that, that was disgusting. And how in the world are we gonna expect better of our students if we got that kind of stuff going on? That was one for the books, about as low as you can go. I heard an old fella say that some people are lower than a snake belly. I used to wonder when I was small, what do they mean by that? Well, you know, a snake belly drags on the ground. And they say you can't get no lower than that, but you can. We got something now called subterranean termites. They begin to dig. So we're seeing them go to that level now. It is really a sad display of our leaders, the way they carried on. And I know we're not responsible for that here in Martin County. Please, I don't want that to come here, but with that kind of stuff going on, no wonder people are so loose and careless and anything goes and nothing matters. Say it, as long as you in with the clique, you know, that group that's running the show now, then it's okay. So teachers are really having a hard time. And no wonder the students are out of control, and you can't, because they're seeing that from the adults. So how are we gonna tell them anything? It's just sad. I'm just gonna give you my personal, and I'm in another county, but it's going on everywhere, and I'm getting calls, and I know about it, so I don't have to wonder, because I said, the week before spring break, I just flat out, well, they don't know it yet, but I quit. I took a leave of absence. I couldn't take it anymore. I had a 6th grader tell me, if I didn't stop talking to her, and it's all because she's wearing these earbuds, you know, that you're not supposed to wear in class, and I keep asking, you gotta take them out. For 2 weeks, she taunted me, would come in, I gotta beg with her, impede the learning process, please take them out. And then if that wasn't good enough, she fell asleep and her phone went off. And I walked over and said, now are we gonna have this? You know what she said to me? If you don't stop talking to me, and this is one of y'all favorite big words that's going on now, you're seeing it on the flag, I'm gonna knock you the F out. That's what she said to me. Yeah, just like a 6th grader. All because I pleaded with her to take that out in the phone. Well, it was then when I said, I can't take it no more. This is it. And I made up my mind then that I need to unplug. And so I took a leave of absence. Now, someone tried to tell me, well, you know, you can go on family leave. I'm not going to go and tell anybody that I'm crazy or you ran me crazy. You won't get my dignity and self-respect. So I just took a personal leave without pay because of the behavior. Okay? $77,000 a year job. It's public record. I walked away. Don't even have benefits. But I couldn't take it no more. Okay? Because what was going to happen is that at some point in time, I was going to do something and then I was going to be the bad guy. Because that's just unacceptable. But my point is, people, and I mean, that's an extreme case, but it's going, they just terrorizing teachers. And I'm hearing the stories here. They're doing little things, making accusations. with male teachers. Oh, he looks at me in a creepy way. They said that to me too, and I said, you're right, I'm looking at you in a creepy way, because I'm wondering what the heck is wrong with you, the way you're acting. So, you know, the teacher's in a bad situation. And it is just so sad. You're going to keep on, we're not going to have any. Okay? I've seen teachers have mental breakdowns, go to crying. They said, well, at least you could leave. I wasn't sure if I could leave or not, but I left. I'll soon find out in a couple months. But I couldn't take it anymore, guys. And then dealing on this end too, how much can one take? Especially when you got a good heart and you want what's right and you don't play games. We're better than that, guys. I'm just saying we're in a time now where it seems as if people are just saying and doing whatever they want to. And, I'm all for parental rights. We need that. Well, parents, you need to do a better job with your kids and display better behavior too. So, this thing can even out. So I just want to encourage you guys, because I know what you're going through. It's rough. You love your job. You do so. It's hurtful, man. It's just hurtful. And I feel for my colleagues, because there ain't nothing I can do. I can't even cover myself. I'm just trying to thread water. But this thing is serious. But it needs to start with our leadership. But when our own government officials acting like a bunch of you-know-whats, okay, no regard, say anything, loose as a cannon, then what? And then some of the things you call yourself worried about, that is really not an issue, but I'm not going there, whatever. But here's what I'll say. I was told when I was young that it's a mighty long road that has no end. I didn't know just what that meant when my daddy told me that, but he talked to me in parables because he wanted to get my curiosity. He wanted it to puzzle me because he knew I would research it. What do you mean it's a mighty long road that has no end? Well, what I found out is that, guess what? Every road has an end. You take I-95, it stretches from the mouth of the University of Miami, clean to Maine, to the Canadian border, about 2,000 miles almost, but guess what? It has an end. You take I-10, it stretches from Jacksonville all across the country over to California there, about 2,500 miles, but guess what? It's got an end. You take one of the great people of our time, world history, Napoleon. Oh, he was a big bad guy. He was going around, he taking care of business, doing his thing, kicking everybody's butt, nothing you can do about it. But guess what? One day, he met his Waterloo. So I'm saying that a lot of these times, it seems as if they never, but teachers hang in there. That's all I can tell you. Somebody say, well, you didn't hang in there. Well, I had to do what Tony had to do, because Tony was going to end up in trouble. Because you're not going to talk to me like that. I'm like 4 months shy of 30 years, and I walked out. I just said I took a leave, but I can pretty much tell you I'm 99% that I am not going back. And I've gotten calls from people in high places down there saying, we heard you took a little break. Yeah, I know they got the message. Yeah, I took a break, all right, but I think it's going to be a long break because I love what I'm doing, and I do it. I don't have to, but I love doing it. But, man, life is tough enough without adding on. So, teachers, I want to leave you with this little poem to uplift your spirits. You probably never had a board member recite a poem to you, but I'm doing all I can. It's one my brother David taught me years ago, and it goes like this. Isn't it strange that princes and kings and clowns that frolic in circus rings, and common people like you and me, man, we're builders for eternity. For each of us are given a shapeless mass, a bag of tools, and a book of rules. And each must fashion, as time goes by, a stumbling block or stepping stone. Stop being stumbling blocks. Let's be stepping stones, guys. I know we got differences. I know we believe, and we should. But there's a limit to how low we need to go to get what we want. Okay? Just remember, it's a mighty long road that has no end. And when your calamity comes down upon you and you get what you deserve, whoever you are, I'm going to laugh at you. Because this just makes no sense. I'm done.
Thank you. Mrs. Powers? Your
I don't
turn.
know, I can't follow that. No, I just want to mention one thing. And thank the Boys and Girls Club. Mr. Anderson and myself and Dr. Miller participated in a small ceremony. It was extremely emotional for me, and it was just really touching to watch the AmeriCorps students that are in our schools talk about their experiences and talk about how they're changing lives of students in our schools. And it was really, I was a bumbling mess the whole time. It was just such a really nice event in recognizing the school district and the contributions of the school board and the district as a whole. So I just wanted to mention that. It was just really, really lovely.
Thank you. I have a couple things. If you go to the FLDOE site, you can watch the last board meeting, which was on March 30th. It's about 2 hours long. We have 2 new state board members. It was also the last meeting that Commissioner Corcoran will probably be at. It also has a nice summary about the legislation that was passed in this last year. Talks about how in teacher salaries we were in the bottom half, and now with these last 3 years of numbers, we're up into the single digits and still climbing from there. Tuesday at the Jensen Beach Mall, there's an art and music event that involves the Jensen Beach students. So it's the Jensen Beach Elementary School, Stewart Middle School, Jensen Beach High School. There'll be art display and there'll be music. That's from 5 to 8. Starting in May, we've asked the Board of County Commissioners with a resolution to put a reauthorization of the millage that's expiring this year back on the ballot in August. So in May, there will be an online portal that you'll be able to go into, and anybody is welcome to go in and offer suggestions like we did 4 years ago. You just have to click which category you think your suggestion falls into, whether it's school safety, mental health, recruiting and retaining teachers and support staff, professional development or academic initiatives, and you can put those in there, and then the board will be looking at those at a workshop in June. Remind everybody that Saturday, the job fair is at Martin County High School from 9 to 12. Also remind the board that if you have questions about the capital list that was given to us at our last budget workshop, we have a budget workshop coming up next week. So if you have any questions about any of those items on the capital list, please be sure to either note them so we can bring them up at the meeting when we talk at the budget workshop, or go ahead and call Carter Morrison and tell him what those items are so he can keep track of those. And the last thing is to remind you all that you have a Form 6 due. If you haven't done that, you need to take care of that.
It's due in July, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you've done your taxes, you're probably in a position where you can do your Form 6 at this point. Okay? And if that's all, we'll then adjourn. Thank you.